Okay, we're going to talk about social media at Neil Huffman Nissan as it relates to showroom sales. So this is really, 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 really huge, okay? I want you to think about this again. Y'all have a 30% closing ratio for your showroom customers. However, there's a 50% or higher closing ratio for B-backs. So you want to get them back into the dealership. Right now, we just talked about in the last video, video emails. We talked about mastering your voicemail process. I want to get into social media. So does anybody here have a social media strategy for your prospects that you engage, that you actually meet?
I'll look most of them up. See if I can get them on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Wow. Okay, 1 second. That's better than nothing. That really is, and we're going to flush that out. But ask. Dr. Covey says, seek first to understand and then to be understood. Ask. If you don't ask, you can't receive, right or wrong. So ask them. Just say, Brandon, I'm engaged in talking to you. Hey, Brandon, are you on Facebook? Just ask them. Yeah, okay, how do you like Facebook? Da-da-da-da-da. And that's for, I'm just in my sales master mode right now. Like, if he turns on and talks about Facebook, man, I've got an in, because if I do, sell him a car, don't sell him a car, now I'm going to definitely engage him that way. But if you ask, don't just stop there. I'm not saying like this. I'm not saying like a Spanish Inquisition. Okay, are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Tumblr? Are you on Pinterest? Are you on this? But what I would do is I would ask throughout the conversation as it permits. Not everybody is really talkative. Some people are just like, come on, what's the price of the car? I don't want to talk. I get that. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get. So take a shot. Try to see if they're on Facebook. Try to see if they're on LinkedIn. Everybody heard of LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Everybody's on LinkedIn. Or heard of LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
The ones that I would say, and I'm not profiling in a negative way, but Pinterest is huge for females. Females have over 80% buying power. So Pinterest is a huge social sharing site that's specifically for images. Obviously, Facebook, LinkedIn. Twitter is still popular, but I think that the big ones would probably be, Facebook and LinkedIn. So when you're engaging a prospect, if you can bring it up in conversation, don't be shy. Ask, okay? Now, if it doesn't come up in conversation, if you forget or what have you after they leave, what do? You basically do what?
On our CRM, we have ability to Facebook, search their name,
What other social media besides Facebook?
LinkedIn, and Twitter.
So it's only 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you all aware of that? Yes or no? Yes? Are you two aware?
I didn't think it was Facebook and stuff. I just thought it was Twitter and one of them. But
Well, here's something that
No,
you can
can
do.
set it up. You have to set it. You talking about on CRM?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to set it up.
Oh, so you have to add it to it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, so then this is good. So, Brandon, when we talk to Brian, this is something that's really big. Some of the salespeople don't know that DOP can be set up to be able to integrate with social media. My CRM, it's called Zoho. I used to have Salesforce, but now I'm on Zoho. Zoho is a CRM that I use to keep contact and track and prospect car dealers. It integrates with LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't even know if it could integrate with anything else, but it's standard. It integrates with those 3. And what's really good with that is that I'm thinking this thing at DealerPeak, you could converse with them right through DealerPeak on Facebook. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So if you've got your contact screen right up, you're able to post on their wall or leave them a message or tweet them or LinkedIn message them, etc. Folks, social media is the #1 form of communication. More than radio, TV, print. I'm talking about shortwave radio. Any of that stuff. More than email, more than talking on the phones. Now, it's a little bit diluted because about 60% of people on Facebook use their mobile devices to access Facebook. So, again, but I'm saying as far as talking on their phones, people prefer to text message through Facebook. I can't tell you how many people communicate through me through Facebook message. And where's Facebook tied to? I just said it. Their cell phones. So what you want to be able to do is, oh my gosh, you want to maximize that prospect to the fullest. So if they leave the dealership, what I would do, whether it's with Dealer Peak or without Dealer Peak, I want to investigate to see if they have profiles or accounts. How do we investigate? How do we do that? Well, one way is obviously through Dealer Peak, right? Dealer Peak is really simply your CRM, and it has the integration. But the email address of the lead, or if you get an email address from the prospect, what you can do is you could turn around and cut that email address. You highlight it with your mouse, you cut it, you paste it into Google. You just paste it into Google and see what pops up. You could turn around, because usually the email address is tied to the social media accounts. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, not only can you turn and cut and paste it into Google, you could cut and paste it into Facebook if you want. You could cut and paste it to LinkedIn. You could cut and paste it into Twitter, etc. Now, it might turn around and show up on the first page of Google, or you might dig through. But I usually just drop it in real quick to a couple different places for checks and balances. The other thing that you want to be cognizant of is, that's why let's go back into email addresses. It is very, very, very important that you ask for email address. How many times do you ask for email address with a showroom customer? Every time? How many times do you ask for an alternate email address, honestly? Okay. I'm so glad you said that. You're keeping it real. Okay, do you guys understand that a lot of people have leave me alone email addresses? I do. Absolutely. I'm not talking about your Match.com profile email addresses. I'm talking about, as a joke.
I have, yeah.
I also got a couple of those.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So-
Hey, send it to Neil Huffman. I might look at that one. But I mean, we have, no, I'm just saying, I have several here. We have one that is a regular email. We have one on our email address on our, on Dealer Peak. So, I mean, I've got my own personal. So we've got three emails that I can.
That's my point. So don't you think your prospects are similar? Don't you think your prospects are similar?
Right. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why are we not turning around and finding alternate email addresses? Because, if it was you, if you were going to buy the second largest item ever in your lifetime, if you were going to deal with somebody that was a car salesman and all that goes with it, and you didn't want the pressure, would you give them your, Big Bubba 39 at, AOL.com email address, your main email address? Probably not. You guys are laughing. I'm keeping it real with you right now. I'm just saying. So again, that's something that you can do right from the jump, that you can get more traction, is get alternate email addresses. And you could use different phrases like this. How would you ask me for my email address? Let's start there.
Typically, it's when I'm getting either your license from you or when you're leaving.
So just ask me for my email. How would you ask it for?
Just before we go on this test drive, be careful to get your email address and phone number.
Okay, so I give it, it's Sean@dealersynergy.com. What you can say is,
Do you have an alternate one?
do you have an alternate email? Or you could even say something like really slick like this: is that your work or your personal email address? You know what I mean? You could turn around and ask them that. Do you have a work email address? Do you have a personal?
Like you're trying to dig too much.
You know what? Again, follow me. You can't lose something you never had. Feel me on this. You cannot lose something you never had. That's a powerful person statement right there. You can't lose something you never had. You got to use your instinct. You know what I mean? You're a sales professional. You've got to see if somebody's like in a rush, this and that. Just say, look, do you have an ultimate email address? That's it. But if you're having a conversation, if somebody's talking to you about their day, their dog, their wife, their truck, their this or that, and you're having a conversation, like, listen, do you have another email address? I mean, you could say it so many different ways. It's not that deep. But I want to just connect to you, get alternate email addresses, because they're not useless. Okay?
Right. Well, you could say, you know what? The reason I ask is because I have several email addresses.
Ow! Yes, ma'am. There you go. Do you see that? You turn again. You're basically pairing yourself with the prospect. I know myself. I have multiple email addresses, and I just want to make sure that this is the one that is actually going to be able to find you, because I've got some real good information I want to share with you, or savings or this. But always sell the reason why. If there's a slight pushback, sell the reason why you're asking for that ultimate email address. Make it like, oh yeah, I got two. Take this one and this one. Does that make sense to everybody?
Makes sense.
Okay. So, email addresses. With the email addresses, you're able to find them on social media. So, now that you're in social media, what can you do? I got you on Facebook, now what?
I mean, well, you can once you can continue to build, even if they don't buy a car, you can continue to build common ground. You get referrals. You can really use it for so many other things.
You said the first one. I want to stop right there. Hard stop. Okay. Think of a bank account. Think of a bank. I cannot go into the bank and say, "You look like a bank teller. I want $10,000 cash, small bills right now." Unless I deposited $10,000 cash, I'm waiting for the FBI to come pick me up around the block.
Right.
That's it. Unless I'm about to catch a federal case,
Right.
or I deposited $10,000 into that bank account, I cannot withdraw $10,000. Y'all agree with that?
Right.
The social media is what's called an emotional bank account. It is an emotional bank account. What you want to do with social media is really build that rapport. Now, this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to stop this one. And I'm going to actually go into social media on the next one, okay?